Welcome back to Create with Code. In the last episode we created our prefabs for our animals and we set up two scripts. First one was spawning our projectile upon space, and the other one was controlling the direction of where the projectile goes and the animals go, as well as another one which was destroying the objects when they hit to a certain boundary. In this, we are going to create a manner to spawn the animals as we wish. So we're going to create a new object. I'm going to call this spawn manager. Set this to 000, so it's not going to carry anything other than a script. So it can be wherever it wants to be. Set it in the sky. With this, we're now going to create another script. We're going to call it spawn manager as well. Attach it to our game object, and then we'll get into code. So, drag that in, open it up. Now, we're going to cover a variable type we have not looked at yet, which is an array. So, public game object, and then square brackets dictates an array. We're going to call this animal prefabs. Now, if we look at this in the inspector, we will see it looks slightly different as the other variables. So I've got spawn manager. We've got a drop down. If we click on this, it says that the list is empty. We want to add to this the same amount of game objects we have as animals. So in our case, we have 3. Now, clicking on this icon here locks the window so that we can click away and it doesn't change it. So we'll drag these in. Another way to do it is shift click them all and drag them in. Drag them in there, they will appear. So we've got 3. Now then, going back over to our script, we want to declare an integer animal index. And we're going to put this into void update. I'm going to get it from a mouse key, a button press. So if input dot get key down key code dot s what we're going to tell it to do, we're going to tell it to instantiate. We're going to tell it to instantiate an animal prefabs of the animal index. Where do we want it? We're going to do new vector 3, and in this we're going to set it to the top bound, which we're going to put it as 12. Going from this, we're then going to tell it to take the animal prefabs and the animal index and position them exactly how we set them, but on the rotational scale. So, looking at this, there's quite a lot going on. First, we have the array. We've declared the array as it's called animal prefabs. Then, animal index is going to be for each animal within the array. So if we press S on the keyboard, you're going to spawn in one of the animal prefabs of the animal index at a certain place, the vector, and it's going to keep its rotation. So, let's have a look at how this works. Pressing play. You'll notice, and then it spawns. And here we are. Try another one. Another enemy. You'll notice that the enemies are just spawning on one singular line, which is not too pleasant. So getting rid of that, I'm going to fix this, and you'll also notice the animal index didn't change. So, I'm going to comment out this code, I'm going to replace it in here. So we're going to go public int. Oh, we're not going to call it declare public, we don't need it to be public. Int animal index. And what's that equal to? Well, it's equal to Unity Engine random range. And it's going to take in two variables. One being 0, so the start of the array, because an array starts at 0, and the maximum length. So if you have 4, it will be 4. 0 to 4, no. If you have 5, it will be 5. 0 in an array, if we look at it, so comment array equals 0 to array length. So if we were looking at an array, you would have 0, 1, 2, 3. There are 4 values here. 0 is the first value. Number 1 is your second value. Number 2 is your third value. And number 3 is your fourth value. So in this instance, array length is equal to 4. Because there are 4 values. You can have these as names. You can have Tom, Jerry, Spike, and you'll look, there are now 3 values. The first value is Tom, second Jerry, the third is Spike. So 0, 1, 2. And another problem we had was the spawning position. So, randomize spawn position. Oh, no comments. Randomize spawned prefab. So, let's have a look at how we can do this. We're going to go for vector 3, so it's a position. We're going to go spawn position. And what we're going to do, we're going to do is equal to a new vector 3. New vector 3. And again, we're going to use random dot range. We're going to set some values. So, we're going to have minus spawn range x and spawn range x. Then we're going to have it spawn always 0 on the y. One minute, just put it there. 0 on the y. And spawn position Z. which we have to declare as a variable up here. So let's have a look at this now. We're going to do public float spawn range x, public float spawn position z. And again, we're just going to set them to 0, and we can have a look at it. So, in this code now, we need to take it, this new vector 3, I'm going to delete this. I'm going to put instead spawn position. So, copy this, and put it there. That's simple. Let's go back to the editor and work out what values we like. So, the spawn range x is going to be this bound to this bound. So that corner to that corner. So we know this cube is a 10 by 10. So the spawn range x is going to be 10. Spawn position is going to be here. So again, we're going to put this as a 10. Now we press S. Come down. That one's a bit close to the edge, but that's fine. We can go to the edge ourselves. There you go. And you notice each time it is different. Got animal clone. Got a moose. It's not very random. Oh, we've got some bugs here. What are you guys doing? Well, let's change that to a spawn range of 5. And spawn position Z. Let's put that as 5 as well. See what that does. Okay, let's just spawn in a load of them. Huge Stampede. And there we go. That is much better. Now we have randomized it, we're going to do some collision. So, in our code, you can choose to either keep this or not. What we are going to do is change it and put this in a method. So, we can call this spawn random animal. And here, we're going to call this a void, spawn random animal. I'm going to paste everything here. So, there we go. However, again, you want it to be a challenge, so you want to remove the S ability. So we can dictate here right now, I'm going to make this a 5, make this a 5, and make both these privates. Underneath them, and do private float start delay. I'm going to call this 2 seconds, and then we're going to do a private float of a spawn interval, which we're going to put 1.5 seconds. Now, in a start function, what we're going to do is a method called invoke repeating. So this is going to keep on going from start. And we're going to put in a string variable here, which is our method. Then we're going to enter in our start delay and a spawn interval. So, what this line of code is saying, you're going to invoke repeating spawn random animal method with a start delay of 2f and then spawn every 1.5 seconds. So I'll get rid of the update, so you can see if we were to go over to the game, let it load. There you go, we have them spawn again. So, within our prefabs, we're gonna highlight them all. I'm gonna click on is trigger. I'm gonna keep it as is trigger. When it is classed as is trigger, the box client does not physically collide with anything. However, once something crosses this line, an imaginary line, which is a collider line, it will then activate a certain thing in code. So, we're going to do the same with our projectile, is trigger, and we're going to add a rigid body, so we haven't got one. When you are dealing with physics, you have to have a rigid body to one of your objects. We're going to not use gravity. We don't want to use gravity. I like moving it up and closing things down. So, going back to the scripts, we're going to have to detect collision. So, I'm going to go for detect collision. I'm going to open this up. Now, detecting collision comes with its own special method. So void on trigger, enter, and we're going to want collider other. So look at other colliders, destroy, game object, and we're also going to want to destroy other. Game object. So, adding this script now to our animal prefabs, they are going to be detecting our collision. There we go. As we shoot them with our apple, the apple should be destroyed, as should the animal. So let's have a go. One. Missed. And you can edit these variables as you wish. There you go. So now we have it where you shoot out your projectile, hitting the animals. They spawn at random positions. They're within the bounds that we have dictated with a certain speed. The player has the ability to spawn its projectile, which is going to go forward. So, there you go. As you get more advanced, you can add game over conditions and win conditions. But that is it for Create Code Project 2. Next, we'll be looking at Project 3, which is covering sounds and effects. So I will see you there. Goodbye.